For well over 100 years, scholars have been reading and interpreting ancient Egyptian texts. But what if their interpretation of the symbols are wrong? What if instead of telling a mundane, abet, weird worldview, they instead had information that offers a cure for cancer? What other information could these ancient documents contain? Do they predict oncoming events here on Earth or any other insights that may help humanity? If they do, who were the writers of this information and what influence do they have or had on us? Is it possible to uncover who they are and why they are here? Hi, I'm Dr. Rita Louise. Today we're going to be speaking with Valery Uvarov, the author of the book, The Pyramids, Legacy of the Gods. Valery is a member of Russian Geographic Society, head of the Department of Paleosciences and Paleotechnologies of National Security Academia for Russia, and has authored numerous publications on ufology, Egyptology, and esoterica in Russian and foreign press. Valery has initiated and participated in a number of expeditions to India, Egypt, Mexico, Cambodia, Indonesia, China, and other countries in search of material evidence of ancient knowledge. He is also a regular participant of international conferences, lectures, and seminars in America, Britain, Germany, Finland, Australia, Czech, Bosnia, Holland, Sweden, Brazil, and Japan. His webpage is wands.ur, so please welcome Valery Uvarov. Valery, it is just so nice to have you on the show usually I have guests from the UK, but you're like way over there in Russia. So greetings from the US to Russia. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank you. Actually, I'm thinking like we are on the one planet. And we here in Russia consider America as a big family living in another part of the planet. So, hello family. Hello America.
So, you're new to the show, but I have a feeling that you and I are going to become fast friends. And I'll have to have you back because you talk about so many different topics that I'm interested in. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you started in investigating ancient mysteries.
Well, on one hand, the story you're talking about happened long ago, and at that years, it was almost 30 years ago, I was very deeply and actively interested in UFOs and everything in connection with UFOs. I was in a close connection with militaries, trying to get and learn as more information as possible from them. And then I was visiting different landing places, talking with contactees, and then I had my own expedition. And so happened that many years ago, during one of the expeditions, I had a very short encounter, close encounter, when I had a possibility to ask few simple questions. Very simple, because that was just the beginning of my personal experience, of my personal story. So, and I asked this little bit stupid question, and I asked, okay, what are you doing here, and what is your personal interest? And then that person told, if you want to understand our interest, you should learn more about prehistory of your civilization. Then you will understand our interests. So that was the beginning for me. And approximately 30 years ago, I started to learn any reachable information and any possible sources to learn more about Egyptian civilization, Mayan civilization, Sumerian civilization. Actually, Russia is very rich in history. So many places with very ancient structures, literature, history. So, in general, it gave me very good possibilities to read, to visit, to learn, analyze, and then to form my own vision, idea, what stands behind that ancient mysteries. So, step by step, I came to possibility, and I wrote few books about it, many articles in Nexus magazine and in other magazines. So, and at the end of the story, we are sitting here and talking to you. So I have a pretty big experience, personal, practical, life experience, because I'd like to point out one very important moment or issue that I'm interested mostly in those aspects of ancient knowledge which we could use practically today for our benefits, for our kids' benefit, not just, ideas, hypotheses. That's okay. But what and how can we use practically today? And that, my interest, and well, we can talk a lot about it, about practical, option of this knowledge.
Okay. I'm not sure that's going to happen in the interview today, because I'm going to sidewall you into a different topic, but with what you said, from an ancient point of view, it sounded like you had a one-on-one with God 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And one other commentary, you look at the ancient mythic record and they're not real well spoken about the why they're here. Or at least I have yet to find a whole lot of information about the why they're here. I mean, we see a lot of their actions and activities, but their reasoning for being here, a bit of a mystery to me.
And I tell you that it is very reasonable and understandable. So after that conversation which I had, and I'm talking about the conversation which turned my life upside down. I had almost 27 years of investigation, asking the same questions as most of people are asking and trying to find an answers, and also the question why they're here, or what is their interest, and so on and so on. So an answer I can divide in two main parts. First part is pretty understandable. Actually, there are many different civilizations which are visiting planet Earth. Some of them just travelers. They are coming here just for a few seconds. Like they stay here, some traces, and the crop cycles. This is exactly the traces with the information from where they came here, and where did they go then. This is actually information not for us. So they are travelers. They just watch and that's it.
So it's kind of like graffiti.
Well, you can say like this. But it's like we are, when we are making travel, and I'm flying from Russia to, for example, America, okay? I'm flying through Germany, so I landed in the Germany, so I spent there just a little bit of time. I can leave even a message for my friends which will be after me over there. And then I started to fly to America. The same with them. So this is a pretty big part of extraterrestrials which are doing more or less this stuff. And that expeditions are scientific. At the same time, there are two other most important. First of all, I'm talking about curators, which are actually watching and controlling our civilization for last at least 15,000 years.
Okay.
And the other, let's say, personality, the other very important civilization, which is actually living here on our planet Earth, and it takes a very serious big part in everything what is going on here. This is what we call Shambhala, and Shambhala is very much connected with a parallel civilization of the Earth, which is much more developed than we are, and they are in close connection, as I told already with Shambhala, and their life in some case is under a certain effect of what is going on here, especially when we are exploding nuclear bombs or the other things like this, so we are affecting them. So two main civilizations are watching us. So, and when we are talking what they are doing here, we should understand that there are at least three parties, okay? Among these parties, those who are extraterrestrials and who has a scientific purposes, we can divide also on two main parts. First, they, on the planet Earth, they are investigating the core of the planet. Core. Why? Because the core of the planet is very heavily beaten by different asteroids and meteorites, small ones and bigger ones. And as one, I was told that, for example, oil on the planet Earth appeared as the result of this asteroid massage. So, and I said, okay, and but you are interested in the oil or what? They said, no, we are interested in the effect which, for example, asteroid attacks, asteroid, which I'm talking about smaller ones and the bigger ones, which are hitting the planet, making massage, and at the same time they said we are watching what happened with the planet Earth after nuclear explosions. And then when I asked why, they said we are trying to predict the future reactions of their planets on any cosmic influence or on any hard influence. So it's pretty understandable from the scientific point of view. The other aspect, which was a little bit stunning for me, but then I have got used to it, and I even came into the condition of understanding. They said, we are looking for God. I said, how? What means looking for God? And they said that each living creature in this universe is the small cell of the God, whom we know and understand as the God. So, and each human being on this planet, on this level of existence, we have our prehistory, our former lives. Actually, we have our future lives, and this is somehow recorded in DNA. It's recorded in informational field of each person and informational field of the Earth. And they said, just when we came here to the Earth, we are looking on what happened with your civilization, for example, 15,000 years ago. What kind of events took place? How these events affected the humanity, even individuals. And then, just analyzing all this information, we can see the creation, the influence of the God, how he reacts, how he manifests himself in each creature. So, and then they said, when we when we came to understanding of a certain mechanisms, we are trying to do the same what God did millions of years ago. And so we are trying to go along the way of the development of the God. So this is the reason why we are looking for God. So this is one very important issue, which actually more or less you can feel, you can see, you can even may talk about it in case of meeting or close encounter or something like this. There is another aspect, which is under the cover, completely under the cover. But for us, who is living here, this piece of information is critically important. Critically. Because this information has a direct connection with what we call, on one hand, real reincarnation, real immortality, and this has a direct connection with mechanism, a real mechanism of spiritual development, actually, which will or is giving a result. Because if you just spend a few seconds and you will allow your brain, your memory, very honestly analyze what actually you know about the history of our civilization, about all that attempts which have been taken by different people, different countries, in different times in the direction of spiritual development, you will have to make a very important conclusion. So, in the best, we are standing on one and the same place. We are not developing. In the reality, we are degenerating. Question, what's going on? Because so many teachers around us are talking about spiritual development. We are invited in different courses of spiritual development, but no development, a lot of very negative results, and I found very interesting pieces of information in ancient Egyptian texts, like a warning for the people who are very actively developing their spirituality, that the first prize which you get for this spiritual development is cancer. Yeah, and I was so astonished that immediately first thing which I did, I found all my friends. I asked even my friends in National Security Academy of Russia with one question: can they, using their connection, gather information from all over Russia about spiritual schools, courses, whatever, what kind of results they have, and especially I am interested in the destiny of the people with very high capacities and abilities, whom we call clairvoyants, you know, those who is really great. So, and they said 70% of that people who honestly was developing their consciousness, their healing abilities, their energetics, they died from cancer in 7 or 10 years, no longer. All of them. And I was so shocked that then I did another work trying to analyze any, acceptable and reachable sources of information. And I find out that all well-known teachers of spirituality, like Jidda Krishnamurti, Ramana Maharishi, Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo, Mira Alfasa, whom? Ask. All of them dead from cancer. Oh my gosh. So then I was very, very deeply reading the text, and ancient text says spiritual development is a very important aspect and the task of any human being. But when you are developing your spirituality and your energetics, you should synchronize the energy which you have received, the energy which became a part of your energetical system. You should synchronize it with the energetical body of the earth. And then you can step over the border of death. So that was the moment when I came to quite a different understanding what means spiritual development in reality. And step by step, I came to understanding and knowledge of the things which I'm going to describe in my following book, which are giving the real keys. It means, so if we have this knowledge, in 3-4 years, our kids will be different, completely different, genius, with very unusual capacities. So it means within the following 25-30 years, we can change humanity, let's say, for an absolutely new, energetically, impact or loaded, and that will be the moment when extraterrestrial consciousness and civilizations, which are up till today, are very specific. They have no direct contact with us. In 30 years, they will accept these new people, not new kids, and will be with us in a very deep, ongoing contact. This is exactly what we need. Why, if you ask me why I'm so curious about it, why I'm so, deeply engaged in this process, because, working with the ancient texts, and this is a very important piece, I came to very deep understanding that we are facing another asteroid impact, huge asteroid impact, which will happen approximately in 5-6 generations. And we have a very short time to get prepared. I understand, and I clearly understand, I know that technologically we have a very short time to get prepared to defend the planet against it. But we have a very interesting chance. It's a small chance, but very important chance. If we will get into ongoing, close contact with parallel dimension of the Earth, with some very developed civilization on a quite different spiritual level, and then they can help us to defend our planet, to defend our civilization against this huge asteroid impact. But I told you, and I wrote about it in my book, which is called The Pyramids, Legacy of the Gods. By the way, approximately in 1 month, it will be published in full color in English language.
Yay!
So there, I'm describing 3 asteroids impact, which took place within the last 18,000 years. So it means that this danger is very real, and we almost have no time to get prepared. This is my interest.
Well, and NASA just released a statement talking about, I'm assuming, the asteroid you're talking about, saying that they expected, that based on the trajectory, Earth is in alignment to get hit by it in like 125 years. I think that was about the date that they gave, which would be about 5 generations.
This is exactly what I wrote in my material, which is called New Atlantis Project, and you can find it on my website. I wrote this is 125, 130 years, 5-6 generation. That's right.
But I'm just saying it was validated by NASA.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I wrote about it in 2009. So it means, well, that's the question, that the informational sources, ancient informational sources, are pretty much, interesting and good. So
let me ask you a question. You were talking about a new way of interacting with energy and the earth so that we don't manifest cancer. But it seems to me, in my observation, that people really aren't interested in establishing a spiritual practice because there's no magic bullet. I mean, you have to work at it. I get emails every day from people that are now being attacked by ghosts and dealing with all of this stuff because they call in their spirit guides and they open themselves up to whatever shows up, and it's like, well, it's kind of your own fault because they think they can become psychic or they think they can do this stuff without any groundwork to support them. They want to go to advanced lessons, but they don't want the beginner stuff. Thank you for watching this portion of our show with Valery Uvarov. If you're enjoying today's program, please click on the button below and subscribe to our channel. If you want to hear this interview in its entirety, become a Just Energy Radio insider at justenergyradio.com and access full shows, commercial-free, and gain access to our over 9 years of show archives. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So until next time, I'm Dr. Rita Louise. This is Just Energy. Be blessed.